Be confident of your preparation. A bit more perspective, of the 4 lakh people who appear, something like 1 lakh people prepare very seriously for the examination. The toughness level that is ascribed to problems, you must of course be going through books like, say, Erodov and other Russian authors. There'll be Klepner, Kollinkov, and so on and so forth. Your JEE coaching teachers, your tutors, they give you such books, they give you tough problems from such books to solve, which evidently no one in the class can crack, but for, say, 1 or 2 people. Let's get a bit more perspective here. Let's not kid ourselves. The JEE is a tough examination, but it is not so tough. These people have to stay competitive in the market. They have to show that the course content they offer is probably the toughest. They prepare you for the toughest things possible. They prepare you for the most difficult problems that can come, but that has something like a 1 in a million probability. You are not going to get problems from Erodov straight off, let me assure you of that. The point remains that it is not as tough as it is projected to be. It is different. Of course, that is not to say that you do not need a basic understanding of your concepts and the like. Again, it is not as if problems which you've solved at your classes will be picked up and directly put into JEE examinations. No. What you should be confident of is your basics, is your basic concepts. You know Newton's 3 laws, you know the domains and ranges of different trigonometric functions, you know how coordinate geometry functions, and you have a basic grip on everything that forms calculus. You can be confident of your preparation. And of course, because you've solved loads of problems on that. Now, the JEE examinations do not have very high cutoffs. For example, all your exams that you've appeared for in life, you've always aimed for full marks or something close to full marks. You've aimed for something like, say, 90%, 95% and the like. This is something that your parents won't understand. This is not something that anyone else would understand, but it is important that you understand this one thing, that you do not need to score full marks in JEE. Let me give you a bit more perspective. These days, the cutoffs are something like 40%. In my year, that was in 2006, we had a 40% cutoff. We used to have 3 different examinations. The mathematics examination was out of 180 marks. The cutoff was 38 marks. The percentages, of course, you've been doing that for a long time. You can do that again. So again, even nowadays, the format has changed, everything has changed, but some things remain the same. 50% is the mean score of people who get in through JEE. Now, what do you need at this stage in life? At this stage of your preparation, you have something like, say, 3 or 4 months to go before the JEE examination. Quite a few people at this stage abandon their study. Quite a few of your friends might be doing it. You might be having doubts to your own ability. What you need, the last thing on your mind, is doubts in your mind. At this point in time, you need a very objective approach to things. You need to plan your studies well. Concentrate on the things you're good with. Concentrate and devote extra time to the things you are not so comfortable with. Go on to the idea of percentage study. What do I mean by percentage study? Let me give you a bit more, let me give you an instance, for example. Calculus has something like, say, a ballpark figure, 30% weightage in your JEE examinations. You would allot, say, around 30% of your time of mathematics to calculus, because it is important. If you're already good with it, and you can deal with it in, say, 15% of the time, all the better. But again, there are some things in which you can put in less effort and you can get more output. For example, in JEE mathematics, you have coordinate geometry. Not a very difficult branch of mathematics, but again, something which has a pretty constant fair share of it every single year. You put in time into coordinate geometry, your output is directly proportional to the time you put in. Algebra is a bit tricky, but you get my basic drift and where I'm going. Now, pressure. Pressure is something that has killed the dreams of many students. It could kill yours if you're not careful about it. You do not need to take undue stress about anything in life. At the end of the day, it is an examination. If you take undue stress about it, if you lose sleep over it, very practically, unemotionally, it's something like this. It's a one-day game. If Dhoni doesn't sleep the night before, he can't make good decisions on the field. If he can't make good decisions on the field, the team doesn't function well. The team doesn't function well, it loses. That is how it goes with your examination. You take undue pressure, you take undue stress, you lose. So there's no need of that. Practice relaxation techniques. Stay away from negative influences. Stay away from people who are naysayers. Stay away from those who tell you, I've completed the entire course once, I'm going to do it again. No. Concentrate on your own course, concentrate on your plan, be confident about your plan, and you'll make it through. A last idea, but a very important idea, of course, the idea of confidence. Now, many people, after their preparation gets done, often get very overconfident about their preparation. In the last 10 days, they are like, I am going to crack JEE, so let me relax. There's the other extreme, who are like, I haven't done anything, there is no way I can crack JEE. That should never be our approach. As has been said in the Gita, a very wise line, karm kar, phal ki ichha mat kar. Go on, put in your effort, do your best, and things will happen. Again, let me reiterate all these points I've told you. The JEE is not a tough examination, it is a different examination. Approach it from a different viewpoint. In your last 3 months, irrespective of whether or not you've performed well over the last 2 years, you can make quite a few amends to the point of getting a very, very good rank. Plan your studies well. Plan the amount of time you're going to give to each and every subject. Plan the amount of time you're going to give to each and every topic. For example, it might just happen that you might get carried away with the business of solving tough problems because it increases your confidence. Be practical here. It's not the toughest of problems which are going to come in JEE. It's going to be at a level slightly lower. Tough problems, but not the toughest ones. Quite a few of us tend to neglect something like, say, chemistry, which looks easy to us, so we say, okay, I can handle this. No. You have to stay clear of that particular aspect. Then again, how do you optimize your time? Now, in your schools, in your colleges, you would have the ideas of pre-board examinations and board examinations, and you would need to appear for these. It would be a very nice idea to prepare for your examinations in such a way that your concepts get clear and revised over and over again. There's no point in, reinventing the wheel, preparing one thing for one examination and another for another examination. While your school might just, might tell you to concentrate on other books, to write certain answers in a certain way, be assured of one fact, that the people who check the board examinations are somewhat more intelligent, and the fact that if you understood your concept and you write the same thing down in your examination, you're bound to get marks. So don't worry about preparing for board examinations way too separately from the JEE examinations. They can coincide to quite an extent. Again, last but not the least, the JEE is an objective examination. You need to be clear with your concepts. You need a conceptual approach. You do not need to slog with problems and slog with 3-page long solutions. You do not need to have awesome presentation of your answers. You do not need to write very neatly. You just need to be very confident of what is going on where. You need to be aware of how things are going in your mind. Whether on paper it comes out clearly or not is not something that's very important, because at the end of the day, you are going to just darken one circle.